The Royal Society of Natural Philosophers maintains the magic within His Majesty's lands, but lately the once proper institute has fallen into disgrace, naming an altogether unsustainable gentleman as its sorcerer royal, and allowing England's stores of magic to breathe dry. At least the society hasn't stopped so low as to permit women to practice what is obviously a man's profession. At his wits' end, Zacharias Wright, sorcerer royal, don't know why I keep saying that, ventures to the border of fairyland to discover why England's magical stocks are drying up. An adventure that brings him into contact with Prunella Gentleman, a woman with immense power and an unfathomable gift, and sets him on a path that will alter the nature of sorcery in all of Britain and the world at large. I like it. It says it's fantasy. I like when books kind of say what genre it is. They need to do it more often, honestly, but I don't know. I haven't seen it with extremely many books, but oh well. Anyways, this is a good book. If you love medieval stuff, I guess like if you love medieval stuff, there's a bit of hint of romance. There's not much. I'm not really into romance much, but this is good. If you like to learn like the language, how they spoke, and like try to see if you can understand it, you can read it for this too, or read it because of the cover, because there's a cool looking dragon thing here, which might have been mentioned in the book. I don't know or not. That didn't even make sense. It's fine. It's alright. But if you love any of that, and if you love like medieval times or whatever, and probably repeating myself, but I don't care. If you love all that stuff, this is a good read. And yeah, and on to the next two, which I will have to do a separate recording for, because they're pictures. So yeah. Okay, so after those two books are done, which they will be after I edit this, the next book is The Understudy, which is kind of funny because it's like, it has religion in it, but it's kind of religious in a way. But I mean, anyone could technically read it. I mean, anyone could read any of the books I've shown, regardless if you're religious or not. But this one is called The Understudy, by a novel by Jack Wayland. So let's see what it says. With the cameras going, I looked at the man. Scabs covered his face and eyes. I found myself wondering what Jesus saw in that blind beggar. Cut, the Ben called out. Or Ben called out. Michael, what's the delay here? You're supposed to touch the man's eyes and heal him. The next time I did it right. But for that tiny instant, I felt as if I were looking at someone the way Jesus did, with overwhelming, unconditional love. Michael Hill doesn't consider himself a religious man, but the leading role of Jesus of Nazareth is too tempting to turn down. As he studies the Savior's life, he begins to learn about compassion and forgiveness and finds him new meaning in family relationships. Jack Wayland, who presents a sensitive portrayal of what it means to follow the Master, has written many popular novels, including Charlie, Sam, Sarah, Whenever I Hear Your Name, and Stephanie. So it mentions a bunch about religion. I kind of consider it a religion book because it goes into depth about it and how like this guy, how he like learns how to be better, like a better father, because he has a son. He got divorced, and it didn't really explain it in this, so he like kind of got divorced, and he's struggling to actually want to work and want to actually keep things going, like his life going or whatever. And this book kind of just changes him and sees him like a different perspective of like, yeah, like things do matter, and he realizes that he needs to be a better father. And what the reason why I'm explaining this one is because, for one thing, it kind of didn't explain it well. I mean, it did, but it didn't explain like some of the stuff about like, which is fine because it doesn't want to give away the whole story. But I don't know. This one, it's really short. I don't know how many pages. I just checked and it had 122 or yeah, 122 pages in here. And it's, I don't know. But he's basically just an actor, just taking roles or whatever, and his family didn't like it much because he didn't have like a steady job or whatever, and it was just like whenever he found opportunities to act. But if you love like learning, like if you love, not musicals, not like, I guess I guess reading about like someone who's into acting, like if you're into acting or movies or whatever, but maybe you don't ever want to do it in the future, or maybe you do, I don't know, whatever you want. But if you like it, this will be a good book, even though it is religious. You could take it into consideration, which whatever, religious or not. But it teaches us a good life lesson. Like we shouldn't take things for granted. Basically, we shouldn't overlook things that are important to us. And I think, especially at times today, we need to do that, especially. But I mean, you don't even have to be religious to enjoy this. Like, a lot of books I'm showing, like, yeah, some of them are extremely religious, but there's good messages in it, regardless. And if you ever were to read any of these, I don't know where you can get them, but you probably could get them in different bookstores. You can find them somewhere. But yeah, on to the next book for this one. I hope you're enjoying this so far, even though I keep rambling a ton, and I apologize for that. But, yeah. Now, this one is technically a religious book. It's really short. It's called For the Strength of the Youth. It's what my church have put together. They updated it now and then to, I don't know how you explain it. I guess I don't know if add in more rules necessarily, but add in like, but it's mostly just for like updating it and kind of, because like some things like in my church, like they change, like, but it's like they don't take away anything necessarily. They just kind of change it on how things work and how well, certain things, most everything. Well, it's what I mean by that is how they don't change like the concept of it, but how you do it, how you do some of the things, and to like kind of, I don't know, I guess update it to make it easier in a way. But I got a couple of these because I kept losing this book. It's really short. It's I don't know if it's necessarily rules. It technically in a way can be, but it's also like guidelines to help you kind of just watch yourself, to be careful, to make good choices in a sense, like regardless if you're religious or not. Like we all want to make at least decent choices in our lives, and this kind of just helps like to provide guidance, I guess you could say, to to like help you in life. Like there's sometimes there's dating things, there's suggestions, I guess you could call them too, or whatever, that or what you could do for like I said, like dating, or what kind of stuff is good for you to like listen to or watch or something, because I know like there's some stuff that might not make us feel good, And if you literally do not feel good with something, it's basically just like, you can turn that off. You can close the computer, like turn off the TV if you don't want to watch or listen to that. That's fine. You're not forced to. And if you feel uncomfortable, like, you don't have to. That's basically just like, you don't have to do that. Like, if you feel peer pressure, you don't have to do that. And it has a bunch of stuff in here that I love, but I don't know if there's a description for this, but I kind of covered some of it, just a few of the things that they talk about. But it does have this quote, and it's from Doctrine and Covenants, chapter 115, verse 5. Verily I say unto you all, arise and shine forth, that thy light may be a standard for the nations. And I like that, because it's like, we all have some sort of light in us, but it takes a lot just to try to find it, and to be able to show it to the world. Like, courage, determination, all of that stuff they have to work for, and to keep it is even harder. But if we literally just do our best to be the best person we can be, and like, I don't know, do something good in your life, like service or whatever, do something that will help someone, or something that will improve yourself or others or something, and try to be more positive than negative, I guess, in a way. Like, try to help create a positive effect, and just to help, just basically to be there for people you care about, just all that stuff, and to show your light, to show that light that you have inside yourself. But yeah, I'll stop my rambling and on to the last book. So this is I don't think this is technically the original Tarzan, but it's a book, and it's completely different from the Disney movies, as some of you probably guessed. Cause I don't know if you've heard, like, with, I think The Little Mermaid, it's pretty darker than what Disney makes it. What else? Because I think Ariel dies or something dark happens, or like, I can't think of others, but they usually die, and there's a lot of death in this. Like, in the Disney movies, they don't show as much death. They show, like, few people, like, a little bit, but this is darker in that sense and such. But it's really good. I love it. It kind of brings it to life even more than the Disney film, which I love the film, but this also brings it to life pretty well. This one, it says, is by Edgar Rice Burroughs, adapted by Joanne, I think, D. Vinge from Tarzan of the Apes. So, I think this is a different one. And then the other one, because I think this one was created in 1912, the Tarzan of the Apes, and then this one right here was created in 1983, so this is a different version, but it's still good. If you love Tarzan, the movie, you'll love this, even though it's, like, darker, or if you like darker stuff, I think it would be great. But yeah, love the picture. It's a great drawing.